Despite the Syrian president saying on this very channel that intervention will spark a global conflict, is Britain prepared to try and topple Assad at any cost?
No, I don't think so. And I think there may be another problem on the horizon, and that is the nature and quality of this so-called agreement that was patched together by very disparate factions with different ideologies, economy, ethnic backgrounds. So I think that unless there's a real agreement that holds, and this is very problematical, this new one so far, that I don't think, I don't see Britain doing more than talking. You know, it comes out, Cameron, every couple of weeks or so with another announcement. But no, I think the question is going to be what comes out of today's so-called agreement. Will it last? Will it endure? I think that's going to set the stage to the path for the future.
I want to get back to Britain in a minute. OK, while we're at it, let's talk about the SNC and where the SNC, the Syrian National Council, is at the moment. It says, as I mentioned, that it's united the opposition now into a broader coalition. Crucially, though, will they be able to win back the support of activists they appear to have lost inside Syria?
Well, that's the big point. But in the first instance, I think the only reason we have that almost tissue quality agreement was the threats and the cajoling and the political pressure that was put on them. They had to do something this weekend. Do you think the West is going to show up in Qatar and arrange a show and no result? No. How long it'll last, we don't know. It's been 21 months in Libya, you recall, and their factions still aren't glued together, and they had the benefit of 9,000 bombing runs by NATO. So I think that the other problem is not the groups themselves, which are very disparate, but the lack of support that they've got now among the Syrian people and what they have lost in terms of respect through a lot of crimes they've committed, a lot of assassinations and massacres and destruction of cultural and heritage UNESCO sites. So I think that this is a last-ditch effort, in a sense, to try to put together viable opposition, and only time will tell if it's going to stick together.
If there was an outside intervention, would Syria be able to repel a military intervention by conventional means, or, crucially, would Damascus be forced to use those chemical weapons it has threatened to use against invaders previously?
Well, it might be tempted to, but I trust the Russians on this. They've made it very clear that they know what they're doing. Apparently, there's Iranians and others guarding those sites. I don't see that getting off the ground, frankly. But absent a NATO-type no-fly zone, massive airstrikes, no, I don't think the regime can be defeated, because their air force is being supplied. It still has a lot in reserve, and I don't see it. Unless you've got NATO or a ground invasion, I think what we've seen so far of this opposition, which is actually splintering in some ways, they've got a very steep slope to climb.
Afraid we're out of time for now, but thank you for your thoughts. Live from Beirut, political analyst Dr. Franklin Lamb.
My pleasure.